Welcome to College Admission Secrets. It is Tuesday, April 23rd. I cannot believe that we are almost done with April. Like, what happened to the year? We are almost in May and April showers, and then we're going to get into May as well, but just can't believe. And as well as signing day is going to be coming up for a lot of our 2024 students, right? And they're going to be deciding on what schools they're going to want to attend. And so that's exciting. But hopefully you guys have been around and you've been attending our sessions with respect to just overall really relevant topics. So and this evening, what I'm going to be talking about is scholarships. Okay, scholarships. It's a numbers game, and I'll explain to you why I do that. And this is amazing. We are already over 100 at 106 people so far. So my gosh. So I'm gonna go ahead now. Do you guys am I good to get started? If I'm good to get started again, give me a thumbs up. Are you guys good with me starting? Yes, I love it. Okay. Ooh, some cool ones. I like that. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. And if you guys can give me, of course, always, as always, the thumbs up on the screen, if you can see my screen. Okay. All right. So scholarships, it's a numbers game. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. And what we're going to talk about in this session is how to search for scholarships. I'm actually going to give a little bit more of an overview about scholarships, then how to search from, where and what to search for, what are some key strategies, and then I'm going to go into a little bit about UC specific scholarships as well, okay, to round it off for our session. Now, if this is the first time that you are meeting with us, welcome to UC Admission Secrets, okay. Normally, this is our UC Admission Secrets Tuesday call. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to give you a brief introduction of who I am. What's up? I'm Coach Art, and I am one of the college admissions coaches at College Admission Secrets, but I'm also a parent liaison, and I guess they call me the student whisperer sometimes when we're doing our applications. Okay. I've been in technology for over 30 years. I have been pretty much a life coach and a sports coach over 20 years, and working with students and young professionals. I started out in the college admission space about 7 years ago when my oldest son was just even thinking about college. And I've helped a number of students get into the top 20 schools in the nation, as well as a number of the UCs as well. But my biggest claim to fame, of course, is being a parent and being a proud papa for 3 boys. And they have done so well, of course. My oldest has graduated from UC Berkeley. My middle son, he actually is pursuing biology now, which is amazing. And then my middle son is I talked about this yesterday, last time. He's going to be playing college soccer at a local university here in Los Angeles. So I'm so excited and just so proud of them. Now, also, you guys, of course, know my partner in crime, who is not here. He's on vacation, but he will be back next week, Coach Tony. And if you don't know who he is, just an amazing resume for this guy, Coach Tony, founder, of course, of College Admission Secrets. He was accepted to UCLA and UCI with both at full rides, but he chose to go to Berkeley, UC Berkeley, graduated from there, was an admissions reader at Berkeley, was a UCLA outreach director at UCLA, even started his own high school, and he's just been doing this for the last 15 years. A wealth of knowledge, an amazing individual. And so just so happy to be a partner with him in this journey, not just for college admissions, but also with our students. So Who are we? Well, our goal really is to reveal all the secrets, okay? Whether that's at UC admissions, at Ivy Leagues, financial aid secrets, SAT prep, or even AP math, okay? So if you guys are ever interested in looking at any of these things, please let us know, just because we hold the secret sauce, right? For all of these particular areas of college admissions. But not only that, we have so many UC success stories, okay? We have so many students that have made it to a number of these UCs. So very proud of them. Still hearing from them because I know the acceptances went up, but then now they're kind of trickling a little bit more as the UCs are making their decisions, okay? But not just for the UCs, but also for so many other schools, you know. You can see here is that some people have made it into even the most prestigious, the BSMD programs, Caltech, Boston U, UCI, Rice, okay, um, Pepperdine, uh, Chapman University, okay, so many different types of schools all across the country. And really, our vision for this particular group is really to teach you about what's working in our coaching students, provide you with free resources, freebies, and goodies, and then also to help you achieve success. Okay. And I'm truly inviting to work with us. Okay. Me, Coach Art, Coach Tony, and our team, really to get your child to UC admission success and other colleges as well. So, with that said, oh my gosh, incredible, incredible, incredible. We are already at almost 100 and can't believe this, 150 people joining us today. So are you ready for some knowledge drop? If you are, can you guys give me a heart? Can you give me a heart? I want to see some hearts out there. Yes, love it. Okay, we are going to get started here and we're going to talk about scholarships. Now, this whole time for the last series, about 5 weeks now, we've been talking about our college admissions journey and about the college admissions journey book. And that includes, you know, college major and sometimes more important is scholarships. It's so very important. It's a very important chapter. And the reason why is because yes, you can make it to the school of your dreams, but how are you going to fund it? Okay. And we have so many opportunities out there to fund it, right? Thank you so much. I love it. I challenge people to give me reactions when they see. So thank you so much. I love it. Um, Now, a scholarship, of course, is money that serves as a gift. It is not a loan and does not need to be repaid as long as the requirements are met. So there are different types of, I'm going to call it financial aid, not specific scholarship, but financial aid. So you can see here scholarships, right? And mentioned again, free money. You got to think about free money. So scholarships and grants, okay? Scholarships and grants. There's also ways to fund your college, which is work study, where the students are offered opportunities to work on campus, earn some money or so. And then, of course, sometimes the dreaded word that starts with an L, okay, is loan, okay? Money that you have to borrow, okay, accumulates interest, of course. It's small amount of interest, but it's still loans that you have to pay back, okay? Which is not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the golden star here, which is scholarships and actually grants as well, okay? So, first of all, what type of scholarship offerings are we talking about? So, they're offerings that what we can define as institutional aid, okay? And that's where you hear the big word FAFSA lately, where people are just signing up for FAFSA and you get different aid from different areas. So you have it from the federal government in the form of Pell Grants. Those are normally for those people who have salaries under or compensation or wages under 25,000, which of course that's very difficult. State level, you have Cal Grants, and you have a Cal Grant A, B, and C. Again, usually normally needs based. And then you have the school itself, where the school provides either need-based type of aid or merit-based type of aid, right? And we hear about that a lot too. And then lastly, outside of institutions, which is really what I'm mainly going to be talking about today, is outside or what we call private scholarships, okay? Either one-time or renewable types of scholarships that are not affiliated with any institutions, but they're affiliated with some, organizations, companies or so, okay? Now, there are all types of scholarships that are out there, all types, okay? And you can see the plethora around here. You got full ride scholarships, okay? You got merit-based scholarships. So full ride, of course, everyone knows. It can be, where you get subsidized for your tuition and your room and board, okay, and even extras. Merit-based scholarships. So go ahead. Those are awards where it's based on the students' academics, maybe artistic, maybe in athletic or other abilities, and they really often factor in some type of the applicants extracurricular activities and community service records. Okay, you have need-based scholarships, of course, and we all know what this is. These are awards based on students' financial need. Okay, and it's also based on the family's income and financial assets. Okay, and that's where you often see requiring a submission to FAFSA. Okay. Now, you also have athletic scholarships. So a lot of times with athletic scholarships, of course, that's for those who have prowess and exceptional skills in sports, and so you may be offered partial or full, depending upon what the school has available. Minority scholarships. Okay, again, if you were within the minority with respect to race or so, there's a lot of different types of scholarships there. Major specific scholarships. So you may have particular scholarships within your major, engineering scholarships or biology scholarships, or let's just say, I don't know, environmental science scholarships, math scholarships. There are international scholarships. So scholarships, again, that are offered to those individuals that are coming from overseas. You may have creative and performing arts scholarships. Again, that goes in the lines of those who have exceptional skills within the creative and performing arts. And then what I see a lot of is community service scholarships, okay? Because of course, a lot of people love to reward people who are dedicated to helping others, okay? So I know just recently my son received one of those, okay, because of his work within his school, okay, and being a college or being a high school athlete. So here is the question. I always have a question for the call, and I want to make sure that everyone, and so this is where you're going to get on your keyboards and you're going to go into the chat and you're going to answer this question for me. How young can you start looking for scholarships? Okay, I want everybody, how young, and let's do it by grades, first grade, second grade, third grade, whatever it is. How young can you start looking for scholarships? Go ahead and post it on there. Post it on there. I want to see what people. 8th grade, I hear 9th grade, I hear kindergarten. Keep going. 8th grade, okay. 6th grade, okay. Keep on going. I want to see 6th, 7th grade, okay. So it looks like people are kind of centering around, let's say, I see preschool. Okay. I see some people are talking about high school. Okay, 9th grade, right. Okay. Love it. All good answers, all good answers, all good answers. But here is the typical how funny. I love that one. Someone says at birth. I wish. Okay. 4th grade. Okay. And the only reason why we say 4th grade is because normally, again, by that time, students are doing something considerable that they can devote to out there for community service or so. But 4th grade, as young as 4th grade, you can start applying for scholarships out there. And if you are able to get those scholarships, typically the schools will keep those scholarships until you go to college. Okay, so very, very cool. Now, so the key thing with scholarships are, first of all, you want to start early. I cannot stress enough. I know a lot of people out there, I did see you guys were saying how you're in high school or so, but again, as long as 4th grade. So begin the scholarship search as well in advance as you can. You can start as early as 4th grade. They normally will keep the scholarships for their awardees. And the best time to search for scholarships normally is in the fall to the spring. Okay, now I want to caveat that because scholarships, you can do a search all year round. Okay, organizations, and what I mean by scholarship, I'm talking about private scholarships. Okay, now all year round, you can go ahead and apply for scholarships, and they have different types. But typically, you will see a majority of them between fall and spring, October to March, is a good time. And the reason why is because they coincide with students when they decide on their colleges. The organizations like to also announce, right? Hey, this so-so is going to this college, and we're going to give them a scholarship. Okay. Holy cow, we are already at, oh my gosh, 220 people. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so 220 people listening in to this. So again, go back to scholarships. The best time to search for college scholarships are fall to spring. Now, I want to caveat this because, as you know, and for those some of you that work with us, we do have a financial aid edge program. Okay, now that financial aid edge program is specifically for federal aid, the institutional aids that I was talking about. Okay, federal aid, specifically FAFSA. Okay, and Coach David, which I know many of you know who Coach David is, one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. He leads our financial aid edge program and FAFSA. So if you are interested and you still haven't filled out your FAFSA, or you're interested to see if you can get any money from the federal government or institutions, I highly suggest that you talk with Coach David about our financial aid edge program. Okay, but we are not going to be talking about the specific FAFSA or federal aid. We're going to be talking about private scholarships for this particular presentation. Now, here is the secret sauce. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to teach you how to get there. Okay. So first of all, how do you search for private scholarships? This is what I want you to do. I want for your student to go ahead, and I want you to think about everything that you've ever done in your life, any interests that you had, any achievements, involvement, service, leadership, talents, backgrounds, anything. Okay, everything that is related to you personally. And I want you to start, just take out a piece of paper or get on Google Docs and just start typing out those particular areas. Okay, because what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take those keywords. Okay, you're going to take those keywords, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take that keyword, and at the end of that keyword, you're either going to put grant, scholarship, or award. Okay. All right. Grant, scholarship, or award. So for example, if you are a surfer, type in surfing scholarship or surfing award or surfing grant. Okay. Now, I know that all of you out there are very, very interesting people. And you must have a number of keywords. Okay. Because with that, you can start doing variations for those keywords. So for example, if you are a surfer, I would do surfing, water sports, body surfing, surfboards. You see this? Even equipment, anything that is related to your keyword. So if you think about it, when you are doing your keywords, do the kind of the interest, and then start doing variations of those. Okay. And you can probably, I guarantee you could probably think of 50 to 100 different keywords. Okay. Now, when you do that, you take that, you put it into your browser, and you search. Now, okay, here's another criteria you put on. Normally, what happens here is that locally, in your local area, you'll probably have more success in finding and gaining scholarships if you look locally. So what you want to do is, for example, I'm in San Diego. I would put surfing scholarship San Diego. Okay. And you do a search on that. Okay. And so as you keep growing and growing and growing and growing, you're going to be finding all of these online. Okay. Now, another thing is search engines. So sometimes I'm a little leery about search engines because the reason why with search engines, there's some of them that are just, a grab to get your information. Okay. But here are some that I have found that I thought were pretty impressive and gave pretty good information. So bold.org, Scholarship Owl, Go Mary, which is kind of a funny name, but Go Mary, and even the College Board, which is actually bigfuture.collegeboard.org, are some suggestive search engines, okay, that I would look for some. Now, there's also other ones. There are some where you can look at the individual social media like Facebook and Instagram and do searches on there as well. And they'll pop up some groups or some organizations that are offering scholarships as well. Now, another thing, don't just search online, okay? Don't just search online. What you need to do is you need to ask, okay? What I mean by that is go actually physically up to those particular organizations like the Elks Club or, or your church, if you go to a church or community center over and literally ask them, do you guys offer scholarships? Because what happens is a lot of times is they don't advertise online or they don't have they just are not skilled enough to advertise online, but they actually have these and no one asks them because no one knows about them. Okay. I guarantee you, when we were looking for scholarships for my sons, we found scholarships that people just thought, hey, that would be really cool if you that'd be really cool if you signed up for this because I think it would fit perfectly. Now, so really again, how to search, that's the secret sauce. It's very simple, and I'm telling you, you could get hundreds and hundreds of opportunities out there simply by just doing this type of search for those private scholarships. Now, here's how to follow the process. First of all, when you find a scholarship, thoroughly read through the requirements and make sure you follow all the steps. I can't tell you sometimes where some students, they are perfect. They find a scholarship and they take the wrong steps. And then they submit it and it's like, sorry, we can't do anything about it. And some of these places may not respond back to you necessarily to say, unless they're, due diligence, but some of them may not, and then you miss out, right? It is absolutely important, and I can't stress this enough. Create a calendar and database and pay attention to those deadlines. I've had so many students where they were perfect for some of these scholarships and they missed it because they simply just didn't know the deadline, or they didn't, or they weren't really attentive to the deadline, as well as they didn't have a database. Okay, because what you're doing this, and I'm gonna be talking about this later on. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Once you get and find scholarships online or wherever you're going, and you document them, you have to continually massage them and look at them and make sure that, okay, if there's a certain deadline, or let's say you missed a deadline, you make sure you don't miss it the next time, okay? Because these are scholarships, one, again, that if they renew, great. If they don't renew, you apply again over and over again, okay? Now, you want to make sure that you provide the supporting material. So that's like the essays, which you're going to do, but compile your recommendations, compiling them now, okay? It's really important that before the summer ends, the school year ends, that you find those who can give you recommendations. They can be anybody, teachers, coaches, counselors, okay, mentors, anybody. Get them to make sure that, one, you get their contact information and you also get recommendations. And a key thing here that has been asked a lot from these scholarships is to create an activity resume. Okay, it's specifically, again, because you could use activity resume for your recommendations, which again Coach Tony did a great session about how to get recommendations, I would highly suggest to go back in our archives and look at that one. But one of those things is the activity resume, so that they can see, because you're going to have to probably submit this as part of the documentation for the scholarships. Now, of course, you want to prepare strong application. You want to make sure that you give yourself time to review and get feedback on the prompts, which of course is something that we can do at College Admission Secrets as well. Make sure you submit the application on time and make sure you follow up. Okay, that's very, very important that you're continue following up, making sure that they know that you are there and that you are interested. And then, of course, as I mentioned, maintain your scholarship database. So I would challenge you 15 minutes per day, spend searching. Give up the time where you're browsing on your phone or whatever, but browse for scholarships. Give yourself 15 minutes per day. If you can give more, great. And try to find at least one scholarship per week. I would encourage you to find a scholarship per day, okay? Because this, as you saw my title, it's a numbers game. The more that you find, the more that you apply, okay, the more that you are going to get, out of it, okay? Now, okay, now let's go to the next thing. The key thing here is be persistent. You need to cast a wide net, okay? Apply for as many scholarships as possible. Even if, and I say this, interpret loosely the requirements. Even if there's a smidgen, okay, an iota, an inkling, a small little piece that could apply to you, apply for it. And the reason why you do that is because, let's say you apply, I've seen this happen, where you apply and you may not be perfect for it, but one thing is they may keep in your mind. And if they can't, because a lot of times these organizations, if they don't use it, they lose it. They might give it to you just because they have to spend the money, or they may know other people that they may refer you to, or they may have another division or another scholarship that you may not have known about that they could apply you to. So it's really important. Interpret the requirements loosely and apply. Second, they call it scholarship stacking. The smaller renewable scholarships, they offer more flexibility and are easy to attain. So I get it. Some people, they try to go for the 20,000, 15,000, 10. No. I love the 250, the 500s, the thousands. I love those, because what you want to do is you want to keep on stacking those on top of each other till you get to your goal. So if your goal is for the first year, you want to do 40 grand. Let's say your school is 40 grand, okay? Then you want to find multiples that will equal 40 grand, and you want to get renewable, because if they find renewable scholarships, meaning that all you need to do is you've already qualified and they award it to you, and all you need to do is submit your name again, and then they'll renew it again the next year. If you can find 40 grand of renewable scholarships, you're done, because basically you just have to keep on making sure and stay on top of registering for that scholarship the next year, and the year after, and the year after, and then you're set, okay? Now, make sure you keep track every cycle of scholarships you found before and apply on time. Again, I can't say this enough. I just seen so many kids who've done this, where they miss their renewable scholarship, okay? And a lot of times, if you miss that renewable scholarship, you can't renew it again, okay? Because you missed that opportunity. So keep track. And lastly, make it a habit. Continue searching throughout high school and college years, or even in grade school, okay, and elementary school, because fourth grade. Make it a habit. Just make it a habit. A lot of times what I tell students when they're applying for the schools, college applications, they normally finish around Thanksgiving, and they take a breath and they're like, okay, well, nope, it's not rest time. You want to start going and do scholarships search, okay? Now, if it's too good to be true, this is one of the things I'm going to tell you. If the scholarship, if they ask you to pay for a fee, or they ask for personal information and that's it, it's too good to be true. That's most likely a scam. They're just trying to get your information to add it to some type of database so they can sell it. Okay. Legitimate scholarships should not require payment or any guarantees on your part. Okay. What they normally do for scholarships is they usually request for information like essays or a video or example of your work or so forth. Okay. So remember, no work means no scholarship. If they don't ask you for something, meaning some example of who you are or that, then it's probably not legit. Okay. Because they probably, now, there are some scholarships where I've seen they say, okay, if you submit this time, you get points or everything else. Don't mess with those because it's just not worth it. Okay. There's too many people trying to go for those. And the problem is that most likely you may not win. Okay. Now, I want to talk about scholarship stacking versus displacement because probably this is the case, and I think someone has asked about that. So there are two terms here: scholarship stacking, scholarship displacement. Scholarship stacking is what I was talking about, combining of scholarships from multiple and varied sources to meet the cost of your college education. Now, there is another term, scholarship displacement, which is when you are getting private scholarships or from other institutions aid, that could affect and minimize the amount of scholarships you get if you get them from institutional aid, right? And it could minimize the amount of aid you get from institutions, okay? Meaning reduce it. Now, this is the thing. If you are needs-based, I get it, understand it. It might be better where you go with the institutional aid and then you stick with that. But for a number of those individuals where you don't you really apply for FAFSA and you don't get a lot because maybe you make some money or so, then this displacement is minimal just because you're not really displacing because you're not getting that much. And so if you are doing the scholarship stacking, if you are finding a bunch of scholarships that are private, if it reduces it, it's only going to reduce it by a small amount. And normally what they'll do, first of all, is they will reduce the amount with respect to the loans you can get and not the actual grant that you actually receive, okay? But I will say this, is that you need to look and talk to the school, whatever schools you're going to go for, and ask them, do you accept scholarship stacking, or do you do any displacement of that particular scholarships that you receive from them? Okay. Now, here are some key strategy tips. First of all, start early. Like I mentioned, do higher odds of being there's higher odds of awarded smaller value scholarships, though 250 to 500, 1,000. I can't stress enough, local and more niche type scholarships have a smaller population of candidates, thus a higher probability of you gaining that scholarship. Always search for renewable scholarships. That is like huge. If you can find renewable scholarships, it's so much easier because, again, you just have to apply, just literally put your name in the next year and you get it. Don't be intimidated by the requirements of the scholarships that you find. Don't, okay? Because what happens here is, again, loosely interpret the requirements, apply for as many as you can. Be proactive. There are literally hundreds of millions to even billions of dollars in unclaimed scholarship funds every year that just go untouched just because people don't know about them, they don't search for them, they don't apply for them. Of course, as I mentioned, be aware of too good to be true scholarships. And again, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Make your search a habit. Now, as you know, here's a message from our sponsor. We are hosting college application intensives. If you haven't signed up for it, if you're have an upcoming senior, our college application intensives are 2-day intensive workshop events, small groups where we go through the entire application, both UC, CSUs, and common applications. And we go through line by line to get your students' college application to a point where they can be submittable. You can see us there, myself, here's Coach David, here's Coach Tony, and we have so many intensives that we're holding starting in July all the way to September. So I encourage you to please, if you haven't signed up, please sign up. And if you want to sign up for our intensives, please type into the chat weekend, 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 and we will get you, okay, we will get you, thank you so much, weekend, type in weekend, and we'll get you information, okay, we'll get you information. And what I mean by workshops is that they literally will get 15 students sit down, and then what we will do is we will talk, and we will sit down and we will go one-on-one with them, with all of our coaches. We usually have a number of coaches that attend, and we literally sit down on site. Okay, we sit down in front of them and go through their application, especially the prompts as well. It is not too late for a senior for these intensives, but remember again the deadlines. So you could talk about, you know, rolling admissions as well. So for those schools of rolling admissions. So again, type in weekend. Now, we are back, okay? Or the number, because I'm kind of, okay, sorry. So type in weekend, WEEKEND, if you want your student to sign up for the college application intensive that we're offering over the summertime. There are a lot of dates, and then we will get you information and reach out to you. Okay. All right. Cool. So type in weekend. Now we are back. Now, for those who are already in the program, those who are part of our program already, remember, it's free of charge for you guys. So you should be signing up. It's really, really important. Okay. We also do help with graduate applications. I see questions there. So we do also help with graduate applications. Okay. All right. Now we're back. Now, because this is geared towards the UCs, I couldn't be remiss without talking about UC scholarships. Okay. So you can see here is that the UCs, they do provide scholarships, but not as many. Okay. So, but they are pretty good scholarships. So first of all, across the board, across the scholarships you see here are they do provide some scholarships. So first of all, the Regents Scholarship. Now, Regents is a renewable, again, see the key word, renewable, merit-based scholarship. And they offer what they call a monetary honorarium. You get a whole bunch of things: on-campus housing guarantee, extended library privileges, and really an opportunity to participate in a lot of their exclusive educational programs. So it's amazing. Now, how do you get a Regents Scholarship? You actually have to be selected for this, okay? And how they do that is they take, and this is based on the readers. The readers look at the top 3% of students that they've read, and then they recommend these students to be Regents Scholars, okay? And there's Regents Scholars for each of these particular schools, okay? There's also a middle class scholarship. So you can see here, this program provides scholarships that can cover up to 40% of tuition and fees for residents who meet certain income criteria. There's also Chancellor scholarships. These are rewarded to students annually, up to $5,000, depending on financial need, okay? So now if we go through the individual schools themselves, first of all, you see here Berkeley. Berkeley has an undergraduate scholarship. It's one of the oldest scholarship programs based on academic merit. Again, it's merit-based. We talked about Regents and even Chancellor scholarships, okay? MasterCard does what we call a foundation scholarship program, which is very interesting. If you have, this is for graduate students now that have sub-Saharan African background, or who are economically disadvantaged backgrounds. Huge amounts of scholarships there. And then the Office of Undergraduate Research and Scholarships at Berkeley, they offer amazing scholarships, like, for example, Rhodes, Marshall, Schwartzman scholarships. Now, UCLA has, of course, their Regents Scholarship. They have their Chancellor scholarships, which is the blue and gold, and they have the middle class. Now, if you are looking at nursing, they have nursing scholarships, okay? A number of nursing students, such as the Susan F. Ward, Paul Ward, the Gorman scholarships, which is amazing. And this is a kind of an original one, the fashion scholarship, where they offer for those that are UCLA nominations to join in national competition. They could get up to 7,500 opportunities, and then even a award gala in New York City. Now, UC Riverside, of course, they have their regents and their chancellors. They also have those that are non-resident. So for those who are joining that are not in California, they do have a non-resident per quarter for international out of state students. They have the Osher Crankstart reentry scholarship, which is interesting for those who have experienced a break in their education, are coming back. And then, of course, again, the alumni reentry as well. It's the same thing. For UCI, of course, they always have the regents. They have a director's scholarship targeted at domestic out-of-state students. And this is a very comprehensive review, but it's based on a merit-based, okay? And it is renewable. They have a number of grants and scholarships that you can apply through what's a cool thing called Scholarship Universe. It's a tool that specifically UCI has, if you are admitted to UCI, to look for scholarships. So they have a great tool there called Scholarship Universe. They have the middle class scholarship, and then through their scholarship opportunities program, which for to find scholarships as well there. UC Merced has a standard, the regents and middle class, and then they also have institutional scholarships, okay? A number of institutional scholarships. Santa Cruz, they have, of course, the Regents Scholarship, which is, again, you can see this with new freshmen receiving 20 grand over 4 years, or receiving 10 grand over 2 years, okay? They have their Dean's Awards, which is considerably high as well for out-of-state students, ranging between 12 to 54 as a freshman, distributed over 4 years, or 6 to 27 over 2 years. They have campus merit scholarships, 2 grand annually. They have the Donald Strauss Scholarship, up to 15 grand towards project expenses and educational costs for juniors and seniors pursuing public service. And then, of course, there's the Phi Beta Kappa public scholarship, okay? UC Davis has, of course, the regents. They have undergraduate scholars ranging from 100 to 14,000. Again, over 4 million in merit-based. This is merit-based, mind you. They have a lot of scholarships, and this happens with a lot of the UCs as well, and in general, colleges across the country. The particular colleges like College of Agriculture, College of Biological Sciences, Engineering, they have a lot. And this is where you have to go and call the specific school and the specific college to find out. I would highly recommend for those students that have got accepted to the UCs to immediately notify and contact their particular college or so and find out what those scholarships are and apply for them. And then, of course, there's a bunch of merit scholarships for those who are continuing students within UC Davis. UC San Diego, they have what's called their Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan. Really, again, it covers the system-wide fees for, and this is for California residents who have, income less than 80 grand. They have the mid-class and regents, and then they have a really good program for international students, okay, that are pursuing their master's and PhD degree. And then UC Santa Barbara, they have, of course, the regents, their middle class. They also use Scholarship Universe. They have specific department scholarships. Again, departments, colleges, all of those are really, really great. And you want to take advantage of those. And that's when your student, based on where they're going to go, you want to make sure that they apply for these, like Larry Adams, okay, Kevin Laverty's award, okay, all these different. And then a lot of times the schools have commencements awards, okay, for the outstanding seniors, okay, or different types of awards that will go towards usually their graduate school, okay, graduate school scholarships, okay. So how many people would think that they would take advantage of a scholarship workbook? This is my freebie. How many people want the freebie? It's a scholarship workbook. I put it together, and really it does is it just helps you for all the things that I just talked about, talking about putting together your keywords, a scholarship database, being able to, and then have some tips. Okay, if you can, I want you to type in scholarship, please. I know that's a long word, but type in scholarship, and then we will get you. I will put this for those that are part of our program. I'm going to post it to the resources channel. For those that are not, we will go ahead and send those out. So just type in scholarship. Okay, I love it. It's near and dear to my heart. And we will get you all of that out there. Okay. So with that said, to finish off, it's a numbers game. I can't tell you how much I can, to say it's a numbers game out there. Okay. The more that you go ahead, and you, search for those scholarships, continuously search for those scholarships, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay. So I can't tell you enough how often I see people who miss out on these scholarships just because they don't search. Okay. Make it a habit. Make it something that is on your calendar for your students or yourself to just continually look, and you will be absolutely surprised what you find when you go ahead and search for scholarships. Okay, when you search for scholarships. Okay, so I can't tell you enough. That's just basically what it is. Okay, so with that said, I thank you so much for this. I'm going to go into a little bit of questions here, but if you found this session interesting, and you found that you need some help out there, and you want a free 15-minute assessment with our college admissions advisors, I highly suggest for you to go ahead and type in the word book, BOOK, and we will go ahead and reach out to you. Okay, we'll reach out to you to book that assessment. And again, as I mentioned, weekend if you want the college admissions intensive. Okay. So now with that said, I'm going to go ahead and look at some of the questions that are out here. Okay, so some questions here. I need some help on getting medical volunteer opportunities and the summer internships for high school kids. Email. Okay. All right. So I will go ahead and take that as a point there to provide some help with respect to that for that particular individual. So thank you for letting us know. We'll get that out to you. Okay. Secondly, where can I get the archives of previous? Okay, our archives of previous videos. Those are either, if you're not part of our program, you just go ahead and reply in Facebook. We get those to you as a link. If you are part of our program, they're in Kajabi. Okay. Where can we apply to Regents Scholarship? You cannot, unfortunately, apply to Regents Scholarship. You have to be chosen by the readers. Okay, so you can't, unfortunately, apply to Regents Scholarship. You are chosen by the readers. Okay, and it's the top 3% of students that are applying. But that 3% again is subjective in the sense of it's based on what the readers think. If you are in the top 3%, okay. All scholarship applications goes with college application. Applying for scholarship is a separate process. Okay, so the question is, do all scholarship applications go with college applications, or applying for scholarships is a separate process with different deadlines? Okay, so two things here. With respect to the college, when you apply to college applications, especially the UCs, you are going to be asked, do you want, are there a particular, they even actually in a sense have keywords where you select those, and what they'll do is that will put your name in. Okay, they'll put your name in into to scholarships. Okay, scholarships that either are organizations that are affiliated with the school, or what they'll do is either scholarships as part of the university itself or college. Okay. And then, of course, there are the applying for those is a separate process. Okay, it's not. Now, the only thing is, some, like say, if you're doing it through Common Application or so, or even the UCs, some may have ancillary, another application that you would apply for scholarship applications. Okay, so that's where you would apply separately on that. All right, so that's another thing. All right, let's see. When is time to apply for a scholarship? the best times would be, as I mentioned, would be from the fall to the spring, October to March, when is the normal times that you see. A lot of times that's the most amount of scholarships, and when they're also due. Is there a disadvantage to applying early? Maybe you will have a better profile during late. No, there is not a disadvantage to applying early. Now, what I'm saying here is that because if you apply early, you just, the more that you want to apply as often as you can, and if you can, what happens is, even though you may not get it, apply the next year and apply the next year. And so what happens is, the more that you apply, the more you get in the system, the more they may even see your name, and the next year they might provide it to you. But there is no disadvantage to applying early. Can we get a list of some popular scholarships applied to? I'm already part. Okay, yes. We can get out. We actually are starting up our service again. We had it where we were posting scholarships to our its channel in Discord, and we will be starting those up again as well. How about if the student is planning to use the CalVet? Can they still apply? Yes. If they, so this is the thing, if they apply for CalVet, you can still apply for scholarships because these are private scholarships. And so that's absolutely, you can still apply for those. Okay, so let's still, those are the Q&A, and let's look at the chat here and see where can I look for EMT scholarship. Okay, so question is, where can I look for EMT scholarships? Okay, so again, it's a matter of doing what I mentioned, is putting in the keywords EMT scholarship or EMT grant or EMT award, or something that is aligned with emergency, right? Emergency medicine, even medicine or so. That's very, very important, is to apply for those. That's great. Now, I will tell you, there's some amazing things like in hospitals, okay? They have a lot of great scholarships as well that sometimes they don't apply to, or it's on their scholarship websites, or sorry, hospital websites. Look on there, okay? So again, use the keyword search, and you'll be very surprised how many scholarships you'll find. Another one is, are there an ongoing scholarship if deadline is missed, meaning applying for sophomore, junior year? Are there an ongoing scholarships? Yes. So question, and I don't know if this question is, but there are scholarships throughout the entire year that have different deadlines. Now, I said the preference is usually between October and March, because again, that's when a lot of the scholarships are either posted or they're due, okay? So what happens is, but there are scholarships every month that come out and that you apply for, and they have different deadlines. So you want to make sure that you continually, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, whatever it is, keep on looking for them, put them in your database, make sure you get the dates, okay? Let's see here. When you apply from fall to spring, do you mean senior year? No. I'm talking about apply. It says, when you apply from fall to spring, do you mean senior year in high school? I mean all years. Okay, now, yes, you because not a lot of times you'll see where they say it applies to juniors or seniors. Okay, great, fine. Then you do junior, senior year. But if they say, all 9th through 12th grade, you apply all the way through. Okay, all the way through. All right. Now, let's see. Can you specify which colleges where merit scholarships do not require a separate application? For example, USC. Ah, okay, I see. Yeah, okay. Yes, so there are schools, and normally what you'll see is, you will see this when you use the common application, because the common application, what happens there is they have conditionality that if you want to go for some scholarships, it will come up and say, okay, here's a scholarship application. So the question is, can you specify which colleges where merit scholarships do not require a separate app? Regardless, even for not a lot of times the schools in the common app, you will find that you don't have to put in scholarship, because you'll be put in automatically into their into a pool of students because of merit. Okay. So we can list that out. A lot of the times, again, it's a lot of the privates that have these, okay, that do it. Is there scholarships for, absolutely there's scholarships for disability students. Again, I would say is the keywords, put in disability, disabled, again, if they are using prosthetics, anything that is related to the characteristic that you are applying to, put it in. Okay, you will be amazed of what you find. Okay, can I apply for baseball scholarships? Well, baseball scholarships, again, it depends, because that's going into athletic scholarships, and that's a different realm. Because with respect to athletic scholarships, you have to be usually you would have to reach out to those schools, okay, and you also have to make sure that the coach is interested in you, right? Okay, so that's the thing. All right, we are coming up on time, and again, I would like to see if you could do me a favor, if you can make sure and give me some hearts or so. Was this beneficial for you? Because I always love to see if it was. Oh, okay, awesome, great, I love it. I'm seeing all of the reactions. I love reactions, so I greatly appreciate it. Again, um, it's a numbers game. Keep on pursuing, keep on pursuing the scholarships out there. It is doable to fully fund your students, or your education, college education, with private scholarships. Okay, and especially, particularly, when if you cannot find, or if you are in the income range that doesn't allow you to um, qualify for FAFSA, then it's the private scholarship route. Okay, so with that, I want to say thank you so much for joining me for this session. Next week, Coach Tony will be back. He will be, and we will be talking, and I'll give you a hint here. We're going to be talking about UC criteria. What do the readers, okay, what do the readers look for in UC applications? So you don't want to miss that. Okay, so have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and week. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening. All right, we'll talk to you later. Take it easy. Bye bye.